Notorious BDT, rolling the dice, pressing those bets. Cashing checks and asking what's next. Booking wins and going on a spree.
Alright, today is Friday, January 10th. I just came back from a day trip yesterday, and yeah, it was a good one. I started off with a bang. Could have been a disaster. I posted some photos. In my very first session, I was at Venetian, went straight to the Crapless table, and then it was sitting empty. I've had several good sessions there in the past couple months, so yeah, I went straight to the table. Bought him for 3,000. I bet 50 on the boom, so that would pay 7,500. I think I put quarters on each side. Yep, I did. So each side would pay 750 for the ATS. Small side, tall side, all. I proceeded to play, hit a lot of numbers, and yeah, I ended up needing the 2 again. The same scenario as last week. Man, could not do it. It was a good roll though. So when I 7'd out, I was up about 3,300, and then so immediately bought back the marker. By the way, this is footage. There's Roulette, and then now everyone's talking about, here's a long line for the Centurion Lounge. And then everyone's talking about the bubble crabs in the airport. They got crapless and regular. They're not great. They charge the vig up front, things like that. I haven't played it yet. If I ever have a little bit of time, I will play. It pays the regular, same as on the strip, 31.41, 156.41. So yeah, 150. Actually, no. This one actually pays more. Yeah, so it pays 155 times for the all. So a little bit extra. Yep, and then just yeah, this was actually January 2nd last week. I got picked up in a classic limo, which was, it's just getting rare these days because everyone's got Escalades and some properties have navigators. I've been picked up in the Win Rolls Royce once. That was like a nice surprise. But yep. So yeah, I mainly played Crapless. It was a really short trip, so it was an unplanned trip. I ended up flying out there around 11:40. Got there close to 1, and so it was much later start than usual. And yeah, the reason for that was if anyone, it would be hard to not know, but yeah, it's January 10th. This whole week, LA, various parts of LA, we've had these crazy wildfires that are just blazing out of control. We always get fires, but this one just hits differently. I know several people who lost their homes, businesses, and people are being evacuated, my cousins, my friends. Yeah, so just hearing these updates and news, hearing back from my friend who lost her home in the Palisades and her business, it's like I was really getting depressed. And the air has been terrible, so any excuse is a good excuse, right? So I said, you know what, I gotta get out of here. I cannot just stay. So I booked that last minute ticket, flew out, and then yep, I asked my host at Venetian, hey, can you just set me up with a airport pickup? I don't need anything. I don't need a room. I just want to get out there. So yeah, I went, played, and thankfully it ended up being a positive, a winning trip. So many close calls. A little later in the day, I was alone most of the time at that Crapless table, and I guess halfway through the day, yeah, in the early sessions I could not hit that 2. even after missing the first, bonus attempt. Like the 2 was just not hitting. I think I moved over to the regular craps just for a little bit and then came back. I even tried, rotating the dice a little bit. I tried throwing randomly. And then later on, I actually did hit the 2, hit the tall, ended up needing just a 3. And the roll itself was really good because I was hitting, like the point was a 2 and I hit it. The point was an 11, so I hit it. So those paid really well. And Venetian, they allow 1 times odd on the 2 and the 12, 2 times odd on the 3 and the 11. MGM and Fontainebleau, they both allow 3 times odds on the extremes on both the 2 and 3, 11 and 12. Not that it really matters, because if you just want to bet more, you just buy it. It's a very small difference. You just have to pay the vig. So every $100 you pay an extra $5. But $100 on the 2 pays you $600 for $5. So yeah, that's why I always say, if you're playing crapless, you have to buy the extremes. Everyone else is going to tell you that, like, they are the lowest house edge bets available. If you care about all of that, that's what you should play. If you don't play the crapless, if you don't play the extremes on the crapless table, then all you're doing is taking on all the disadvantages, because your pass line and the come bet are weakened because you don't win on the 11 anymore. It becomes another point, right? So yeah, you just take on all the disadvantages. You don't get the, potential extra come out rolls in between where, the 7s won't kill everything on the board. So yeah, that's that. But anyway, so yeah, I ended up needing the 3. I had just hit a point. So then, a person joined me to my left. I'm shooting from stick left 1. Thankfully, the guy was, just patiently waiting. I rolled like 10, 12 times before hitting the point, and he buys in. And he's buying in for a marker for 2,000. And, the dice is ready to be pushed back to me. But then, I think the dealer said, "Oh, hold the dice so we can get the marker out." And part of me wanted to just say, "No, give me the dice," because like I'm in this groove now, right? I've already rolled maybe 30 times, and I'm having a great roll, and I just need one number. I have 100 on the boom. That's $15,000. One number stands between me and $15,000 from the bonus, and this time it's not the 2, it's not the 12, it's the 3. And all day I've been hitting the 3, so I wanted the dice, but I also thought, okay, it's a marker, so it should be quick. But that whole process ended up taking like 2 to 3 minutes, and by that point I'm like regretting it. And say what you will, I believe that there is like a rhythm and flow. There is a time when the dice are hot in your hands, and you hit numbers, you're consistent, and you're just throwing, and you're in this groove. That's why any kind of disturbance, like, right? Yes, it is a superstition, but at the same time, how often do you see when there's a disruption at the table, something goes wrong? So that's why in my videos, you'll sometimes see me, hey, there's an argument over bets, turn my bets off. Someone buys in, turn my bets off. Not all the time, but it's just a feel, right? And yeah, it was really unfortunate. I was having a great roll, then the buy-in just took way too long, and I set a point. I believe it was a 4, right next door to a 3, and immediate next roll, 7 out, and it was a 1-6. So the point was set with the 1-3 to make a point of 4, and the next roll was a 1-6. So I don't know if he hadn't bought in, would I have hit it? Maybe not. But the fact that like that just killed whatever momentum I had, that sucked, and I bet 100 on the boom, the ATS several times yesterday, and yeah, those were the 2 closest I came. And then when someone else was shooting, I would bet a little less, and we hit it one time. I only had a quarter on the boom, so I think I had 10, quarter 10. So the sides pay 300, and then the quarter paid, you know, 37.50. So yes, that's a very nice hit. That's over 4,000 from the bonus, but it's not 15,000. It's not 7,500. Like, you know, I was so close to getting. So that was just, yeah. I wish it could have been different, but what can you do? When I missed the 2 on my own, right? I mean, that's almost expected. That's hard. 3's not easy either, but the fact that I was having a great roll and it just got interrupted, like, that sucked. I wish I should have just been an ass, whatever, just been like, no, just give me back my dice. Just push the dice out. Go, he doesn't have chip yet. I should have just gone. But who knows, right? Maybe I could have thrown a 7 and just wiped the bonus. It would have started over. So, yep, this is a photo that I posted. This is from the first session. I had 50 on the boom, which is the all, quarter on the little, quarter on the big already hit. Just needed the 2. That's a point of 4. This was just mid-roll. Yesterday I actually decided not to film at all. I just wanted to focus on playing. I only took the camera out at this point because we got close, and I snapped this photo. I should have snapped another photo when I had everything except the 3 and the 100 on the bonus, but yeah, I don't have that one. Ended up being a roller coaster, so I was up 3,300 after my first roll, and then I played with profits for a little bit, gave that back. So then I bought back my marker, had to take out a marker, back and forth. I benefited from the other person hitting the ATS bonus, and then I had, you know, a really good roll, the roll where I needed the 3, you know, like hitting a point of 2, you know, like 125 on the pass line, 125 behind, and then an extra buy bet. You know, I'm getting paid over $1,000 on that point, hitting the other extremes. I wasn't really hitting hard raise that much yesterday, but I did have a sequence where I hit the hard 10 3 times, and the last one paid 525, so that was nice. But yeah, I mean, overall, you know, had some good rolls, but I played too long, and at the end I got frustrated. I was betting like 100 on the bonus, starting off with, you know, hundreds across on the extremes, just kind of swinging for it, and yeah, that didn't work out. So I ended up, I was basically even after my roll where I missed with the 3 needed, and then eventually I was in for 8,000 for the day. And then, yeah, here's a photo where I bought back the 3,000 starting marker, and I was playing with the profits. And then here's the torn up marker. Here's 35, 37, 3,700 in the rack. This was still mid-roll, so I had, you know, several hundred out there. Yep. And then yesterday, yeah, it was not a good day. These flights ended up being super delayed. I pushed back my flight and ended up booking a really expensive Delta flight because my original Southwest, which was supposed to leave at 8:30, ended up being delayed by 2 hours. So that would leave at 10:30 or later. And with those, you run the risk of the crew timing out, and they can't fly. The federal regulations limit how many hours the flight crew can work in a day. So you either have to get a fresh crew or you're done for the day. And if I couldn't get on that flight, that was it. I was probably gonna get stuck. So I bought this Delta flight, which was 7:45 original, but it was delayed. We ended up taking off at like 9:30. Yeah, so it was a long day. So yeah, back to craps. You know, my flight time is coming up. It's uncertain because of the delay, but, you know, not really sure how much time I have. It was almost 8 o'clock, so I had about 15 chips in front of me after a 7 out, and I just grabbed the chips. I told the pit boss, I said, I got 1450, I'm out of here. And then when I have limited time, a lot of times I go to the roulette table. I bet my numbers, 100 on each number, pays 35 times if I hit. So yeah, I bet 1100 on the numbers. I bet the remaining 350 or so on the 19 through 36, the big side, big numbers, that pays even. Ended up being a 33 black. I totally missed my numbers, but I at least got a little bit of that from the 19 to 36. So then I had 700. I bet the same numbers, high on some of them, like concentrated in the middle, and then quarters on the more outside numbers. So I bet a section of the wheel. I bet like contiguous section of the wheel where, I'm just looking for some repeaters, and just like craps, right? I'm looking for repeaters. If the ball falls in an area and hits in the zone, then we're good. So I hit black 11 for a quarter. That pays 875. And then I tripled the numbers, or triple my bet, so it's basically 75 per number, a little bit extra on some of the inside numbers, and then I hit black 17 for 75. That pays 26.25. And I doubled all the bets. So I bet 150 per number, a little heavy on certain numbers, and then I hit red 32. Red 32 is away from the 17, but yeah, it's in my section. So 150 pays 52.50. Yeah, very nice. I had 14 and change when I came to the table. Now I got 52.50 plus a little bit more, and then I didn't even really think. I just knew like I had to push one more time. So then I bet 300 per number on 11 numbers. That's $3,300. I bet a little bit extra. I expanded my section. I added 3 more numbers, which is what I usually do. I put hundreds on those, so that's 3,600. And I put an extra 50 bucks on about 4 numbers. So that's another 2. So what, 3,800 that I was betting? And then I hit black 22. And that was one of the numbers that had extra 50 bucks on it, so I hit it for 350 bucks. So 300 pays 10,500. And 50 pays 17. Oh, that's a typo. I gotta correct that. Yeah, should be 1750 there. Yep. So here's the aftermath. I ended up with basically 15,000. I had a little bit more, but I threw 100 bucks to the dealer as a tip. I said, I gotta go. There were 2 guys at the table when I joined, and one guy was betting some, same numbers as me, but, he had his own set of numbers. And the other guy, it looked like he just kind of picked numbers that we were not on, and, he would put big stacks of chips on them. But that guy was just whiffing. But after they saw me hit 1, 2, 3 in a row, they started betting some of the numbers with me, and so they both started hitting. And then as I was waiting for the chips, they're like, all right, what's next? I said, well, I just played that section, man. Just play the same set of numbers and good luck. But, I gotta go because I got a plane to catch. So yeah, I was in for 8,000. I had 15 and change, so paid off the markers, got my 7,000, ran to the taxi, and the flight ended up being even more delayed, so I didn't have to rush that much. But it's probably best that I did, because if I had more time, I've posted this on my YouTube before. The most I ever bet was 1,000 per number times 11, right? That's $11,000 plus insurance numbers. So the most I ever bet on a spin of roulette was 13,000, and I did that twice, and I did hit a number straight up for $1,000 at Mandalay Bay. That was red 32. That pays $35,000 plus your original 1,000 back. So yeah, if I had stayed, I probably would have tried for another spin. But being that I was down, and then by a miracle I hit, so I came back. It was a good time to get out. So yes, when I am in Vegas, I play primarily craps. I'd say about 95% of the time I play craps, but I also play roulette because those are the two games that we can't really play in California. If you know, California, we don't have real craps. We have these stupid card craps where you might throw the dice, but they have to flip cards to determine the numbers. So your 1 and a 4 on the dice might not be a 1 and a 4. It might be a 2 and a 3, right? Or 2 and a 6. So yeah, I haven't even tried it. I don't want to bother. And then also roulette, there's no ball that spins. It's a cards in slots on a wheel, and they spin that. That one, I guess it's not as, because roulette, you're not the one spinning anyway, right? Whereas dice, you get to touch the dice and you throw. But yeah, I'd rather just fly to Vegas and play the real thing. So yeah, thankfully I survived. So yeah, I'm going back next week, Monday, 13th. So next week I will film. Yeah, yesterday I just didn't feel like it, and I figured, you know what, today I want to focus. And also, being that I was the only person at this table for majority of the day, the boxman was like right there, and I thought it would be a little too obvious for me to have the camera on me. Yeah, I don't have a fancy setup. I have a crossbody sling bag, and I have the phone just like stuck in a pocket. So I have had the dealer or boxman mention my phone to put it away. I actually wonder if Bellagio might have me flagged because a supervisor, he's not a regular boxman, he's the pit supervisor. He might be the entire craps pit or table floor game manager. He came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and pulled me aside and said that I have to put my camera away. So I don't know if that was just verbal warning on the spot, or if there's any kind of note in my file, like account, and they're gonna keep an eye on me or not. I have not been back since that happened. The last several trips have been to Venetian Palazzo and where else? Fontainebleau. So yeah, I actually don't know if there's gonna be any kind of heat on me. By the way, a couple things I want to highlight. I should have done this earlier because not a lot of you guys might still be watching this now, but hey, if you care at all about craps, I highly recommend that you check out Casino Tears. It's a podcast mainly focused on craps. They do talk about other things, but it's primarily craps. And if you watch YouTube and follow craps content, you will probably know Roll to Win Ed. He is one of the co-hosts. And then Tentan, yeah, they're starting to put up videos now, not just audio. But yeah, they're funny, they're knowledgeable, and they talk primarily craps. And one other, so actually two more. Mid-Atlantic Craps. That one is, it doesn't really roll off your tongue, but they started a new series on dice throwing, so I highly recommend dice tossing technique with Gargoyle and your host Jeff. Yeah, I suggest you guys check that out. And then there is also Casino Gaming TV. The host, Pro Craps John, he most of the weekday mornings he has a live show where he does some dice throws and then talks about strategy, just this and that about craps. I really like it when he talks about like the mentality, your thought process behind what you do at the craps table. And I realized that I was just blindly just pressing and just swinging for the fences every single time, and it's not a sustainable way to play. So yeah, so Casino Tears, Casino Gaming TV, and Mid-Atlantic Craps. You might also know Casino Gaming TV. They host the Craps Chat. There's a bunch of people who talk about craps related stuff. There's going to be one that's coming up this Sunday the 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, give those a watch, a listen, and it's almost time for my new video release today. It is the second part of the Craps at the Palms. So hopefully, yep, starting in 15 minutes. So hopefully many of you guys will be tuned in, even if not for the premiere. I know it's Friday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific, and yeah, but hopefully you catch it. Leave me comments, feedback, whatever, and I will see you guys next time.
I am notorious BDT, rolling the dice, pressing those bets, cashing checks and asking what's next, booking wins and going on a spree. There goes the day tripper, rolling dice and taking wins. There goes the day tripper, all down the Vegas Strip. At Palazzo, it's where you'll find me. Maybe Venetian too, they got a good crew. I know them and they know me. 20 grand is coming to me. There goes the day tripper, rolling dice and taking wins. There goes the day tripper, all down the Vegas Strip. Chasing dice and chasing wins. Who knows when this will end? Pressing wins.